All right, we are live. Welcome to today's morning power up call. We are going to just dive right in on this one. I'm not going to talk too much about housekeeping. Things are moving along really nice in the new world. We've got a lot of new, wonderful things happening in the world if you're paying attention. So the merge over to the real world is coming along nicely. I want to talk with you guys about it's perhaps an aspect of copywriting that I have overlooked to teach you guys as I went through the program, as I was creating the bootcamp. I'm definitely going to be adding in a dedicated video module on this idea. It's something that I've touched on in the messages and the videos and the things I've talked about over time, but it's something that I realized that I understood intuitively that I didn't perhaps communicate clearly to you guys as I was creating the program. And I want you guys to have this information because it's a superpower when you're writing copy. There's two things I'm going to be sharing about it. Like tomorrow, I'll be sharing another aspect that's a superpower when you're writing copy, but this one is important and it's a prerequisite for the one I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Now, when I've taught you guys how to identify an avatar, how to identify their needs, how to identify their problems, their pains, their current situation, their dream state, I've taught you how to identify those solutions and help them get there, how to link that to the product. But I want to help you understand another aspect that you need to, that if you add into your copy, if you add into your understanding, it helps your persuasion massively. Like this can amplify the power of your copywriting and the messaging that you provide to your end reader, like tenfold. Like I'm not even joking. This one thing can increase conversion rates by a lot, right? And the cool thing is you can apply this in your other communication with human beings. You can apply this to your cold outreach. You can apply this to a lot of things. You need to be nuanced about it, but this is an important aspect. Now, there's a difference between copywriting and branding. Like direct response copywriting is about using words to pull emotional levers to get action. And branding is more about like identifying, like what the brand stands for and all that good stuff. Now, a lot of direct response marketers completely ignore the branding side of it. A lot of branding guys completely ignore the direct response side of it. And I think you need a balance of both if you want to be effective. And there's an aspect of branding. There's a series of questions you can ask yourself that if you incorporate those answers into your writing, makes your writing way more meaningful and more powerful and more captivating and will increase your LTV more than any headline tweak you can do over here with the direct response stuff, right? And these three questions are: who are you? What do you do? And why does it matter? Who are you? What do you do? And why does it matter? And that last one is the most important question you need to be able to answer. The first two just kind of help you get set up for it, but the why does it matter is extremely important. If you can imbue your copy and imbue the product or service and brand that you are writing for with some type of greater purpose, something that is extremely relevant because of external conditions or because of the new wonderful opportunities it opens up. Either it opens up the new future or fights against this type of enemy or moves you towards something else. If you can imbue the product with greater purpose beyond just the individual, it fulfills one of those really high aspects of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It fulfills the fulfills the actualization, the purpose. It gives them something greater than themselves. To lose themselves in that moment of giving themselves to a greater cause is a very powerful and fulfilling emotion that if you can mix that into your writing, it gives what you're doing more purpose. Why does it matter, right? Cool, you're going to achieve this dream state. So what? So that you can what? What is the actual bigger message, the bigger value that they're going to get from this? And why does it matter in this crazy world that we live in, right? This is where you start incorporating things that are happening in the world. This is where you start incorporating things that are happening in, the breakthroughs in science. You can start incorporating external factors and you can start incorporating them into and help them understand why this product, beyond just getting their dream stage, why it actually matters. Why does this brand actually matter? If you can imbue your copy with a sense of purpose, with this greater sense of relevancy, you will win. You'll have a greater power over someone who's just really good at direct response marketing, right? You need to have this concept in your mind as you sit down to write. This is why you see things like there are certain brands that create like manifestos, right? Where they're like, this is what we're about. We fight against this trend. We move on. There's a really good example of this. Let's see, where's that book? There's a really good example. The guys who created Basecamp, they wrote a book called Rework. And this is basically them just like railing at the establishment and how like most companies work and how most people think. And they took a a very provocative stance on the world. They took a really provocative stance on it, and they kind of had a manifesto about this different way of working, this different way of creating value in the world. And it resonated with a lot of people because not only was it good advice to give people a good example of like how to move forward and how to be successful in the things that they were doing, it gave people a greater sense of purpose and it gave them a greater sense of belonging. So it was extremely valuable for these people and generated a lot of attention. Those guys didn't have to do any kind of paid ads or anything like that, just because they were so provocative. And they were putting out such meaningful content around this battle they were fighting against the greater world. It made it viral and it made it meaningful, and it gave them a superpower when they actually wrote copy. And if you read their stuff, like there's elements of copywriting in them, there's elements of direct response, but it's backed up by this greater sense of purpose, which magnifies it, right? So if you can combine your skills with, doing NSBE and DIC, PAS, and how to write long form sales pages and how to create entry and how to create, mystery and all those things, if you can mix that in with a greater sense of purpose, you become unstoppable. A lot of brands have one or the other. If you can have both, if you can help your clients have both, they become unstoppable. So keep this in mind. Again, I'm going to be adding this to the bootcamp. There's going to be a video. I don't know where I'm going to plug it in, but there's going to be a video where I talk about this in greater detail and give you some clearer steps on how to identify this and mix it into your copy. But for those of you who are writing for clients, those of you who are working your way through the program and are trying to make your writing more powerful, giving your readers a sense of why this matters beyond just themselves, but why this matters, this greater cause, will supercharge your copy and supercharge your ability to persuade and bring people into a brand and give them a higher lifetime value than if you just sell to them. So use this idea, use these concepts, mix it into your writing, be on the lookout for new and exciting content within the real world. I'm only going to release it inside the real world, but be on the lookout for new and exciting content about how to do this and a few other things to make your writing even more powerful. This has been a good call. We'll do this again tomorrow. Until then, take this energy, take this information, go out and apply it, use it to make your way through the program, land more clients, make more money. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.